The total US household debt reached a new record high of $18.8 trillion at the end of 2025. Why American people are still borrowing money that they never able to pay back? Today, I'm going to walk you through a brief history of US consumers to help you understand that. And more importantly, if you're trying to sell product to American people, what opportunity I think there could be and what are the risks that you should be aware of. If you know how the saving culture is like in China, we're all taught that you should always save money for a rainy day. But Americans, they don't believe that. However, before 1945, Americans were just like our traditional parents. They were terrified of debt. But after World War II, the US government had a good problem. There were too many factories and millions of soldiers coming home. So to keep the economy from nosediving, the US government basically said,
spending is your new job.
And they made mortgages and loans super easy through this thing called GI Bill. They built suburbs, which means everyone has to buy a car in order to get around. Getting loan was so easy, job security was much better, and paycheck is sure going to come next month. So everyone is just purchasing. The vibe back then was like, if you aren't buying a new fridge, are you even American? And for 30 years, it actually worked. That was the era of a lifestyle equality. Just imagine a world where the guy who fixes the elevator lived on the same street as the owner of the elevator company. Equality was felt strongly by most people. But the trap is, because everyone's salary is going up, people are used to a certain lifestyle. They assume that American dream was like Netflix that they can subscribe to and it would never increase its price. And then they started normalizing debt. Because, hey, the next year's salary is going to cover it, right? And in fact, the household debt to income ratio stayed relevantly flat for 10 years from 1963 to 1973.
And then it climbed and climbed and climbed from around 60% in 1973 to almost 100% in 2007.
Now, fast forward to 1980s, the party ended. While the top 1% is earning the super yacht money, the average worker's paycheck, however, stays flat. And here we have the conflict. Did Americans downsize? No. They used the big stretch, credit cards. If their paycheck couldn't buy the lifestyle, credit card could. The prices for big stuff went up by 200 to 300%. The prices for the shiny stuff actually got cheaper. The Americans still felt rich because they can afford a $1,000 phone using credit card, but they were actually poor because they couldn't afford a $1,000 emergency because they don't have any savings. And now enter the era of social media. In the old days, you only had to keep up with your neighbors. And now you have to keep up with the Kardashians. And this is the money dysmorphia. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror and all you see is a poor person even though you have a decent job. Because your feed is full of 20 years old having vacations in Dubai. People are now charging their social status to credit card just to stay relevant in the algorithm. And here's the funniest and scariest part. Americans are basically newbies at this. The 401k retirement plan was only invented in 1978. The Roth IRA came alive 20 years later. And credit cards only became normal a few decades ago. The US economy is a giant experiment and everyone is just winging it. There is no ancient wisdom to teach them how to manage their 401k. It's 80 years of history, social pressure, and a system that was built to only function if people are buying things that they don't need with money they don't have. So now we know the US consumer is stuck between the flat paycheck and the Kardashian lifestyle. They're tired and they're in debt, but they still want to live well. And this is the next wave of global brands, especially from China, is stepping in. You shouldn't sell cheap stuff anymore. You should sell the lifestyle that you want at a price that you can pay.
Opportunity number 1.
Because remember the money dysmorphia? American people feel poor because they couldn't afford a 15K Birkin bag, but they still want that high-end feeling. If you can make a coffee machine that make it feel like belong to a 5-star hotel, but cost less than a week of groceries, you win. It's no longer about being cheap, but it's about value innovation. It is to help the consumer look like a smart shopper instead of a broke shopper. In 2026, being frugal but fashionable is a new status symbol.
Opportunity number 2.
Americans are spending all their money in the big 3: housing, healthcare, and education. And this leaves almost nothing for everything else. So products that can actually save people money or time are the new gold mine. Instead of selling a light bulb, sell a smart home system that can help them slash the electricity bill. Instead of selling a kitchen knife, sell something that can make cooking much faster and much cheaper than ordering Uber Eats. And the key is, if your product pays for itself in 6 months, the debt-heavy US consumer will find its way to buy it.
Opportunity number 3.
In the US, the old way of shopping, walking through a giant boring mall, is dying. People now shop while they scroll. And this is where Chinese speed meets American needs. By using platforms like TikTok, you can bypass a made in China stigma. By using real creator to show the product in real American home, your product's gonna stop being a foreign product and starts being the new cool thing that my favorite influencer is using. But wait, it's not all sunshine and fast shipping. If you want to play in the US market in 2026, you'll have to follow these new rules. The American consumer is at a crossroads. They're moving away from mindless shopping to mindful value. The door is wide open, not to be the world's factory, but to be the world's solution. If you can help American people live a rich life on a real budget, you won't just make a sale.
You will build a brand that lasts.
This is a new series called Finarita. It's literally the combination of finance and Narita. If you like this video, don't forget to like and follow. I'll see you in the next one.